Hello, Beer League community, and welcome to the first episode of The Dive Bar, your weekly audio-video podcast for the Beer League, hosted by Bunny Coo. I don't know how this is going to go, but this is just, I based this on The Dive by LCS. That's why the name is The Dive Bar. This episode will probably be short, probably be pretty short because, the season just started, so it's kind of hard to talk about things because you didn't really see too much performance from each team in each game, so there's not too much to talk about. And also, I would like to know if people actually want these episodes to be shorter or longer or somewhere in between. If you want it to be like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, like I don't know if an hour is gonna happen, but yeah, I'm interested to know if people, first off, like the podcast, having a podcast style thing, and also how long people would want it to be. I am running it solo this time. However, that's not how I plan to run it forever. I'm kind of just throwing this out there as like a test, see how it goes. And but yeah, it'd be nice to have. I would like to be able to have at least guests. Like, it'd be nice to have like players from the week on the podcast, like a player or two, or maybe have like a co-host and a guest. If anybody wants to co-host this podcast, that's awesome. DM me, Bunny Coo, or if you and somebody else want to take over this, I won't even complain about that. If two people want to kind of tackle the dive bar, and think that they can think that they like this or want to take off with this, I can hand over the reins. But anyways, let's just kind of like dive into it. So each week, Dive Bar will be just about diving into the games of the week, and also like discussing team performance and like sort of like how the teams like rank up against each other, stack up against each other and stuff. So not necessarily a tier list. Maybe it will be like a weekly tier list kind of thing. I think that'd be interesting to sort of provide that, but at least for week one, no actual tier list. Because as I said, not a whole lot to talk about, but not a whole lot to talk about week one at least. But hopping into things, Beer League, Season 10, exciting season. This is my first like actual legitimate season being here. Season 9 was sort of like a short season, a fake season. Still fun to be a part of. But this one, regular season, 9 weeks, 5 matches every week, best of 5 with 10 teams. Not best of 5, best of 3, where I got the 5 from. But yeah, best of 3, 9 weeks, 10 teams. So 45 matches in total, I think. I think that's correct. Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, each team will just play each other team once. And then after that is the knockouts, brackets, tournaments, whatever you want to call it. But that's not really too, doesn't really matter too much. What matters really is the games we had this week. The games we had this week, actually, so many of them were so wild. I have some of the stats pulled up still from these matches. Starting off with 1IQ versus KGB, like, Rihi, I think, honestly, so, okay, that was another thing that I meant to bring up earlier, is that I want to tackle, because now that running it down is gone, there's no player of the week. So I'm also going to probably try to do that too, as player of the week. And honestly, I think it's not even like, it's kind of hard for me to say that anybody else really surpasses Rihi in player of the week, because not only did he just have insane mid performance in both of his games. Yone 13-2, and then RAWR 11-1. Like, Rihi was just playing these champs amazingly, and not only that, but they are the only person to, I believe, the only person to have played against 2 different people in their games. So they're the only person that hasn't just played against one other person. So that sort of kind of goes further to prove, like, hey, they not only dominated one person, but they dominated two different people. They didn't just dominate one person twice in a row. They dominated two different people in lanes. So there's definitely got to be some credit due there. So I think it's got to be Riki. It's got to be just the player of the week. I mean, but also not to like say that Riki doesn't deserve this. I think it's just that that's just flat out player of the week Riki official. But also Dunavan did spectacularly, especially on the Amumu. The Jarvan wasn't bad. The Jarvan was pretty good. The Jarvan was pretty good too. 6-1 and 13 on the Jarvan. But like the Amumu game was like, I don't know, it felt even better. So yeah, but yeah, Dunavan also just did really great that game. Or in both of those games rather. The bot lane was doing fine too, but I don't know. This, as I've said before, this is week 1. These are the first matches. It could have just been one of the top teams against one of what might be the bottom teams this season, or maybe it was just an off week for the team. Who knows? Maybe 1IQ isn't that good, but 1IQ looked just absolutely stellar in their matches. Moving on from that, though, what was probably one of the most funniest things, one of the most funniest matches to watch, LS versus PSR, specifically Game 2. But Game 1 was crazy as well. Because Game 1 introduced us to, hey, what if my Bacchus or Shyvana jungle took TP Smite? Alright, and they won. Alright. I don't... I think there was a time where they... I think there was a time where they TP'd to... Maybe there was a time where they TP'd to both Dragon and Baron. I can't quite remember. That one was a little while ago. But that one was just... That one was crazy. That one was crazy. They just, like, were taking on... I mean, I gotta talk about Game 2, because Game 2, 5-man Baron TP in Game 2. They all took TP, and then they're in bottom lane, and then suddenly they are all just TPing straight up to the top lane and taking Baron and winning the game, and that was mind-blowing. That was mind-blowing. That was crazy. It was just... I mean... Yeah, that was... I honestly... PSR... I want to see... Either... I kind of want to see teams try to imitate this, or... I want to see how teams might counter it. Because I don't know, it's hard and it's weird. I don't know what you'd want to do against it. Like, do you want to try and take a split pusher? So when they do one of these plays, you just like are just like, all right, split pusher, go now, go as fast as you can, because they're gonna be fucking us up soon. So I don't know. It's a little interesting, a little weird, and I hope to see teams like really try some things, try to adapt to it, try to copy it. I would be really honestly interested in seeing other teams approach the strategy if other teams wanted to try it out. But yeah, I feel like that game really showed how strong teleport is, because I know for like a while it's been being talked about, like certain Riot devs have been saying like, yeah, teleport's really strong. We don't really like the state of it right now. And yeah, that game I've always kind of just been like, yeah, I think it's like a good spell, but like, you know, not everybody takes it. And then that game was like, yeah, no, everybody takes it and we win. So that one was pretty crazy. But moving on to Hikikomori Havers versus 2. That game, or in those games, was another situation where I felt like Slamrai, Jank, and Osminator were both doing really well. There's a lot of times where I see Misfortune just kind of do nothing in games, and so I'm glad to have seen a time where Misfortune was able to do a whole lot of something. Because, wow, and also Slamrai Jack was not doing too bad either. Like, the Morgana mid, I did not think that was going to be very good, and then they really showed me wrong, because that Morgana mid actually did pretty decent. Wasn't like stellar, wasn't like amazing, wasn't crazy. Samurai Jack, to be fair, I mean the KDA was good. It wasn't like on the level of Reheat, but Reheat was, I mean that's not really a fair comparison because Reheat was just popping off. That one was just crazy. But yeah, Samurai Jack and Awesomenator both were doing absolutely stellar in their games. Definitely gonna need to. I don't know. It feels like you're gonna need to look at something for Awesomenator because strong ADCs right now can be pretty scary. You're gonna want a good assassin for that or something. It's gonna be a rough one. But now we're heading into BW versus RAWR. Run down this game. This one was another game where the mid laner kind of just popped off. Storm on the side of RAWR was absolutely crazy. I feel like I don't know. It was really good, and I really confused myself with this note. I wrote down Shaco ADC was doing good, and I was like, whoa, there's no way I would have remembered if somebody played Shaco ADC, and I forgot there was a player named Shaco. And again, that was just another situation where both the mid and ADC, Storm and Shaco, were both doing really good. So both RAR and 2 both have teams with really good mids and really good ADCs. So it'll be interesting to see how those teams perform against each other, actually. 2 versus RAR will be an interesting matchup. Kind of excited to see that one. And then that was the almost last game. Now we have the game that I'm recording after just casting. Or I'm recording this after just casting this game. ABW versus CR. I mean, wow. ABW, like, in the first game, picked a... Oh, I'm not looking at the first game. ABW picked, like, a full scaling comp, and then won it 22 minutes. So, yeah. That was certainly interesting. Like, it felt quite weird, and then Game 2, though, Game 2 did go to 4. Actually, hang on, because that wasn't even like the biggest thing about Game 1. Game 1 was 22 minutes long, 22 minutes 37 seconds, and it had 43 kills. So that's like legit like a kill or two off of 2 kills per minute. That game had so many kills. It was such a volatile game. They had a crazy level 1 that resulted so amazingly well for ABW. It allowed Really Bad Zed to just roll Caress for the rest of the laning phase. It was absolutely just destructive. Just yeah, that was doomed. But then this game 2 was no early game invade. I mean, there was an attempt, but nothing really came of it. And then it looked like from the comp side it was going to be a quite quiet game, but the junglers kept it exciting. There was a lot of action, a lot of stuff happening mid. There was a part where Chicas and Sawdude, came in for a mid gank at the same time, kill each other's mid laners, and then just were like, all right, okay, walked away. So that was quite good, quite funny. But yeah, in the end, it kind of just came down to an ult from Sawdude where he was on Skarner and at a dragon, ulted like 3 people, and then JWM and MPEX on Smolder and Aphelios respectively, just melted the 3 people, and that was it. They got Dragon, and then from there on, they just like kept doing great things, amazing things. There was one point where Brahm's team and Really Bad Zed kind of got caught out hard by CR. Somehow CR wasn't able to capitalize on that hard enough. But yeah, this game had a lot of kills too. Pretty sure a lot of those kills were like team fights later on. Because yeah, I don't know. It wasn't. That game was pretty bloody too. I don't know how many. I should probably like look over the kills per minute in all these games, but like I don't know, I felt like these games were a lot more bloodier. But yeah, overall that's how the games have been this week. So that's that, but like now the important part, how do these teams stack up actually? Because I mean, currently I should probably write this down because I don't even have this actually like officially thought out yet. But I'll write this down as I think it out. I think number one, the top team, currently, based on again limited stuff so far. So these rankings are very like basically mean nothing. But 1IQ, you just cannot deny how good Rihi and Dunivam are looking in their games, and it just looked so oppressive. So 1IQ is definitely got to be like at the top. 2 and RAWR both had really good mid and ADCs. I think 2 was maybe a little bit better than RAWR, just in terms of the gap in performance in their matches. But that's the difficult things. I'm comparing these teams based on how they played against other people and not against each other, so it's weird. So I would say 2 and RAW are probably like around the same tier, but I don't know. I think I feel like I want to actually put PSR below 1IQ and above 2 and RAW, because I think if PSR continues this 5-man TP business, I think they might be able to cook up something that teams struggle to counter. So if they continue to do that and teams actually continue to fail to figure out a way to counter it, then PSR could be quite a problematic team. So I do want to put them up quite high as well. And then honestly, for the rest of the teams, every team that lost, I didn't necessarily notice any significantly bad performance. Like as I was just talking about, like CR in their game were fine. Like they weren't particularly bad. I don't know if it's. I feel like KGB might be my quote unquote worst team, but again, I don't know if that was just that one game. I don't know if it was just 1IQ being so good, or it could be so many different things because we haven't seen a lot. So like I almost want to put KGB as the lowest, unfortunately, but it's just because like in their games, like nobody really looked good. But well, even people looked okay at best in their games, and I don't know. But it's just one series, so I don't want to like write them off. But like I feel like after like 1IQ, PSR, you got 2 in RAR, and then probably like everybody else here so far, because I don't want to put anybody so low at this point, because like if you look at people's win rates at this point, it's just 100% or 0%, right? So it's like you don't have actual stats to base things on. So that's why it's hard to like try and really rank those things that way. But yeah, so number 1 team so far, 1IQ, and then PSR, and then 2 in RAR, and the rest. Player of the week, my vote is Rihi, because he had just beautiful performance, and again is like the only person that actually had to play against 2 different laners. So yeah, and like I don't know, if you stomp one person twice, it's one thing, but if you stomp 2 different people, hey, that's something, you know. So it just can't be denied. I think that you got to give some credit to that. So that's what I'm going with. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that's kind of it in terms of that. Really, the team rankings, the player of the week, really great games, more games already being scheduled. Hopefully this next week's a little bit easier. I think the TFT tournament so fun. I think it disrupted things a tiny bit, but it wasn't really a big deal at all. It probably wasn't a deal actually at all. Not even like not a big deal, but just not a deal at all because only Saturday, it's fine. I doubt, I don't know, there's like a 50-50 chance that the team delayed their game, but even if they delayed their game by a day, it really doesn't mean anything. But the TFT tournament with Majestic Case was really fun. Not gonna lie, I don't remember who won that. I was uh having a fun time in deep last place. That's how I'll put my night. But yeah, I didn't really plan to play that, but that was really fun, and I hope there can be more community stuff like that. Maybe an ARAM tournament or something. I think that'd be interesting to do like off-season ARAM tournaments, uh, where it's just full on like instantly like into the knockouts or like Clash style. So that way you have like the teams play against each other, and then like the winners play against each other, and then it's basically the world's Swiss style, where it's if you're 2-1, you play against another 2-1 team and whatnot. So that'd be interesting to have like a ARAM tournament or something. Obviously, the TFT tournament was easy to do because we're all League players, and if you have League installed, you have TFT installed. So that was a really easy one to do. But hopefully, more things can happen. But yeah, that'll be the dive bar for this week, running at about 20 minutes. That actually is a lot longer than I thought I would manage to get this to go, especially because I think I talk a little bit fast, but hopefully I managed to slow it down enough. Again, if you, I'd love a co-host, and I would love to start trying to get guests on this. So hopefully I can make that happen in the future weeks. And then again, let me know if how long people want this to be. If you want it to be like full on hour-long podcast length, if you want it to be kept condensed down to like 10 minutes, or just as long as it needs to be. As I said, this was based on the dive by LCS, and that's like an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. I don't think I want to go that long, but that's the idea. Is it can be longer, but yeah, who knows? That was episode 1, and hopefully you enjoyed this, because I've always thought it would be fun to have a League of Legends esporty analysis podcast, because I always loved the whole analysis part of esports. So